Let's fight like demons.
Hey everyone, I'm senior video producer Jeff McCobb, and we're back with another CinemaBlend roundtable discussion because the world premiere of the Dune trailer was 5 seconds ago. So we are fresh off this thing. We are stoked. I'm joined by Eric, Braden, and Gabe. Say what's up, guys.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
All these dudes are big Dune fans, be it the novels or the classic films. So let's jump in. Let's get to our events editor, Eric Eisenberg. Bro, what did you think of that first look trailer?
I'm blown away. I mean, I can't say that I am surprised in any way, just because like this has been my most anticipated movie of the year for as long as it's been as long as it existed on this release schedule. Denis Villeneuve is easily one of my favorite filmmakers working right now, and it's incredible. Like, it is a remarkable trailer. It looks incredibly impressive. I love that I didn't learn too much, though I think I have a fairly good idea of like how much of the book we're getting in this film. The look at all the characters is just so incredibly cool. And of course there is that just epic, remarkable shot of the sandworm at the end that just took my breath away. So yeah, I'm definitely on cloud 9 right now.
I didn't think they were gonna show us. You see the sand start to pile up, and I thought it was gonna cut, and then they're like, no. It looks sick.
And there is a shot earlier in the trailer I noticed they have like when they have the scene when they first see the sandworm and he's basically collapsing that entire mine, and like you see it briefly and you basically just see the teeth, and I was like, oh, is that all we're gonna see of the worm? But then that ending comes and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, the visually it looks dope in contrast. So let's jump to Braden, because he was telling me earlier that he just rewatched the David Lynch film, right?
Yeah. A few weeks ago, I rewatched the 1984 version of Dune, which, you know, has its own problems, and I'll be the first to say definitely isn't as pretty as what we just saw. I mean, my goodness, the set pieces of what we just saw were absolutely incredible and breathtaking. One thing I was kind of concerned about was how they were going to approach the Harkonnens, who in the 1984 version are pretty disgusting. They've got some real body horror and prosthetic things going on, but they gave us that little flash of Stellan Skarsgård there, which I loved, and he just looked, you know, sickly is the best way to describe it, which I think is a perfect reflection of, you know, his character, especially in the 1984 version. So I'm hyped. I loved how clean it looked. The set pieces, like I said, were absolutely incredible, and I'm down for the fights. Oh, also, I can't go without mentioning the improvement in the holograms of the body shields. Oh my gosh!
Shields,
See you later.
With this Brolin.
Yeah, no, we don't have those crazy hexagons or octagons that they had in David Lynch's version. I thought what they did on this time looks absolutely incredible, so I'm beyond excited.
But those effects, I mean, they're cool, but they are not what I expected. I was definitely caught off guard during those battle scenes in the trailer. I was like, what? Like, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like this. This is just like not what I saw coming at all. The big standout in the trailer to me was the makeup and the costumes just look absolutely, visually it looks ridiculous. Gabe, what was your first reaction?
So I have super high expectations for this film. I've considered Dune the novel to be my favorite book since the first time I read it. Now, I haven't read it completely in like a decade, and I'm in the middle of rereading it now, so we'll see if that holds up. But on top of that, Denis is probably my favorite working director who's not like a pantheon, you know, legendary director who's been working since, you know, the 70s that we have. So I have had extremely high expectations for this trailer, and I still have extremely high expectations for the movie, and this trailer has only pushed that further. I think the scale of it, the visual style of it, I trust in Denis wholeheartedly, and he's done nothing but prove me right with this trailer. I think we talk about the sandworm, and I think ending on that is a great way to just sort of show us the scale of this. I think that's a great way to, the scale of the Dune story is just immense. And I think that we get the sense of that in this trailer, as well as just kind of the sleek, awesome sci-fi world that it's going to build. So I 100% satisfied. Similar to how Eric said, I felt like it didn't tell me too much, which, you know, I've read the book, so and in the trailer there's like line for line, like word for word readings of passages from the book. So I'm sure it's gonna. It seems to be telling us that it's gonna follow the book very closely. So all in all, I'm excited and satisfied.
We knew that this cast was massive, but for some reason I was still caught off guard seeing them interact together in that trailer. I was like, oh my gosh, to see them in costume and in makeup, like, I mean, I'm sure we all know by now, but just to run down real quick: Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Timothée Chalamet, Jason Momoa, Josh Brolin, Dave Bautista, Oscar Isaac, Stellan Skarsgård, Javier Bardem. I mean, we got Oscar winners and that's just to name a few. This cast is absurd. And if you guys didn't see the pre-show where they were interviewing the cast, they all seemed to have so much faith in Denis Villeneuve. And after they saw the trailer, they were all applauding for him.
Every single character, as soon as they appeared on screen, it's just like one of those things where it's like, oh my god, that's exactly what I wanted from the book. Oh my god, that's exactly what I wanted from the book. I've been preparing for this cast forever, and just because, I mean, watching the casting rollout was honestly one of the most fun parts of the development of this production, because you're like, holy crap, where is this gonna end? Like, every single role is being played by an incredibly talented star. Honestly, the one thing that I am curious about, and like you guys, I'm curious what your thoughts on this are, but just like, again, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, it does kind of seem that the big climax of this film, where they are kind of constructing it, is with kind of the invasion of the Atreides house by the Harkonnens. And I'm curious, just like, what that means for the amount of specifically characters like Stilgar and Chani, like how much of them we actually get to see in the movie, because like obviously this whole thing starts with Paul talking about his visions of Chani in the desert, and so I assume we're going to get some visions, but I am curious just how you guys think that it's going to kind of balance the second half of the story and all of those characters involved with what we see in the first.
I get the sense that it's going to be pretty well balanced. Like, I get the sense that we're going to the main characters in Paul's life that we need in order to get to that invasion are going to be fleshed out, and we're going to spend time with them now. But the characters like Chani, like Zendaya's character, I don't think we're going to see a lot of, and I'm okay with that. Like, I love when they announced that they were going to split the story. It was like, thank God. You know, there's the good and the bad of that. Like, there's, you know, when they say The Hobbit's going to be 3 movies, you go, well, that's impossible. But something like this, like 2 movies feels right.
Well, it's 1 movie and then 1 movie a sequel that may be greenlit. So that
may be greenlit. Yeah. But that idea of, you know, narrowing it down, I think is, I think it's going to be extremely well balanced. At least that's what I got from this. It doesn't feel, from this trailer at least, it doesn't feel like it's tackling, again, that massive Dune world all at once, which I don't know how you do that. That's implied. You're better than me at making movies, so that's on you.
Yeah, and I mean, David Lynch tried and arguably failed to do that. I think that was the biggest gripe that a lot of people had with the 1984 version, was it was the entire book crammed into, you know, a 2.5 hour, almost 3 hour movie. And I am extremely happy to see that we're not going to be just like jumping from scene to scene, meeting people, they die off, we're meeting new people. I'm really excited to like get to know some of these characters, especially as somebody who hasn't read the book but is currently working my way through. Seeing the 1984 version, it's like, man, I'm ready to like really get to know some of these guys, especially Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck. I mean, I thought his casting looks awesome. I mean, you got Patrick Stewart in the OG, which is just legendary, but I feel like Josh Brolin perfectly fits that role as this kind of like warrior poet character and intellectual. So yeah, I'm extremely excited, and fingers crossed, like I saw Eric doing earlier, that we're going to get a green lit for round 2.
I think Dune is kind of famously like a hard story to tell via a movie. There's Lynch's version. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the documentary on Jodorowsky's Dune. Absolutely fascinating. It's basically just a documentary about a movie that was never made. But it gets into kind of the scale and kind of the world building and the level that you can take the Dune story to. So yeah, it's famously a story that's like just kind of impossible to tell in a movie. So I'm confident in the trailer, and that's good. But that's at least where I'm at.
Gabe, this is what I'll say. You must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. You must face your fear. You must permit it to pass over you and through you, and when it has gone past, you will turn your eye to see its path. Where the fear is gone, there will be nothing, and only you will remain.
Yes, but hopefully only Dune will remain. Hopefully only Dune will remain in beautiful form.
I'm glad that Eric worked that in there.
I was looking for it some way the entire time, so. Yeah.
It made the trailer too. Were you excited?
I knew he had it in his back pocket.
Were you excited to see that in the trailer, Eric?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, and the whole Gom Jabbar sequence in general, I mean, I'm just like... every moment of this, I was just like, holy, yes, they are bringing this to life in exactly the way that I saw it as I was reading Frank Herbert's book. Like I am, yes, I'm very,
having
very
just
excited.
having just reread the opening to the book last night. That scene is like, it's frame for frame what you see in your head as that's unfolding in the book, which is pretty incredible. Even the tone, the darkness of it, the color palette of the world fits the way that it feels, the tone of the book. So it's pretty incredible to get that from such a massive book story.
I want to get some closing thoughts. Let's start with Braden. Are you more we were all stoked, right? We were all stoked for Dune's release. Are you more excited now that you've seen the trailer than you were earlier this year?
Oh, absolutely. How could you not be? I mean, that was a wonderful trailer. I mean, an all-star cast, and I absolutely loved the little Q&A that we had with Stephen Colbert and a lot of the cast members before.
That was great.
I would say my hype is at an all-time high. Couldn't be higher.
Eric, are you more stoked now than you were before the trailer's release?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how you could not be. I mean, I was already excited for it, and this is just kind of proof of concept. This is like, oh, you thought this movie was going to look remarkably cool and exactly like the Dune that you envisioned as you were going through the book, and now I have the footage to back that up. I mean, I already had stills that said like, oh yeah, that's what a still set looks like. This is what that's the shade of the eyes. That's like what these characters look like. But yeah, this it just kind of makes everything real in a way that didn't exist before this trailer. And now I'm just counting down the days.
Gabe, are you extra hyped?
Absolutely. You know, I pretty much touched on that. I love the book. I love the filmmaker. The cast is just bonkers insanity, and the trailer did nothing but solidify that that's all coming together really well. So I'm in.
In Denis Villeneuve we trust.
Yes.
If you guys haven't seen the Dune trailer, go check it out online. Let us know in the comments what you think about it. Are you more pumped now that you've seen it in action? Let us know. Eric, Braden, Gabe, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me. Yep.
Fear is the mind killer.
My Lord Duke.
Where the fear is gone,